Good evening, class. My name is Jamie Myers. I am a course director for visual arts in the entertainment and media industries, and this is week's one go-to training. So for this session, we're going to be going over a few of the overview ideas about the class, and then we're going to dive into the assignments. So if you have any questions, please hold them until I open it up for you guys, and I'll ask you if you have any questions. And that way, you guys most likely will be able to have your question answered as I'm explaining everything, or that I won't miss your question if you type it in as I'm discussing the assignment itself. So this program, this is course, is actually created specifically for you guys for four different programs. Creative writing for the entertainment. I have both on-campus and online students. Digital cinematography, online students. Film students that take this on campus primarily. However, a few of them do have the opportunity to take this online. And media communications, both online and on campus. So we kind of have this in a specific order to where we write, we create, and we sell, okay, or we market. So this month, you guys have a few different assignments that you guys are going to be working on, and most of them are chronological. And you'll be building your knowledge as you're going, and then by the end of the month, you're showing me what you have learned. So the first assignment for this week, actually, we have two assignments. What can I identify, and who do I admire? Next week, you guys will start on the visual research project, which is a multi-week assignment. You guys will work on it during weeks 2, 3, and 4. What do they do? You'll work on in week 2. Who do they work for in week 3? And you'll do what's my vision in week 4. Professionalism, of course, is 10% of your grade. You can see most of the easy assignments, the ones with the question marks, are going to be 10% of your grade, except for what's my vision. That's going to be 3 different tasks that you guys will be doing in week 4. And the visual research assignment is a big one. So make sure that you complete all the different tasks within that assignment. Couple things here. Some assignments have creativity aspects. Actually, most of them do, whether they're creative in your research or creative in creating a image or a story. We want you guys to be as creative as possible as you guys are coming up with ideas and opportunities to tell some stories. It's against Full Sail's policy to resubmit work, so make sure that all the work that you are creating in this class you have not turned into previous classes that here at Full Sail, and you want to make sure that you haven't, if you've taken this class before, you're not resubmitting the same work, especially if you didn't get a good grade on it the first time. Speaking of plagiarism, you always want to cite your sources. This is a research course, so you will be doing a lot of research. So whether you're researching the content, images, or videos for any of your assignments, you want to make sure and tell me where you got that information. That is very important. And you will be, like I said, researching. You cannot pull everything from your head. This is a fairly easy course. It is an overview course. This is the opportunity for you to learn more. So you want to make sure that you are researching and you're citing your sources appropriately. One of the things in this course that you won't have the opportunity to do in your future courses is not cite any kind of formatting. Next month, you guys will be doing, most of you will be taking English. And during English course, you will learn that Full Sail will be required to do APA formatting when you cite your sources. However, because you have not taken that course yet, I do not require you guys to utilize APA. You can if you want, but just citing the URL or the location at which you found that information will be sufficient for this course. It's going to be your last course at which you guys will have it easy as far as citations is concerned. Make sure you pay attention to due dates. All assignments are due on either Thursdays or Sundays, primarily. Sometimes you'll have only one assignment due, like in weeks 1 and 2, and sometimes you'll have 2 or 3 assignments due, like in weeks 3 and 4. So you're going to take it easy, and then as soon as the middle of the month comes on, you're going to start ramping up and getting more and more assignments that are due, a lot more writing as well. And of course, if you attend the Go-Do trainings, you'll know exactly what you need to do for every assignment. I will be going over all of them very thoroughly. Late policy is very important. Just like in the real world, you don't want to miss a deadline. We do have those deadlines as Thursdays and Sundays. I do give you at least 4 to 7, even more days to work on those assignments. So you should be able to invest at least an hour or 2 hours for those assignments that are required for that amount of time during a 4 day span. But if you have the opportunity to, or if you don't have the opportunity to do that, something happens in life, we understand. You want to make sure that you at least get it to me within 48 hours. So you have 2 days, no more than that. But in order to make sure that that doesn't happen, you want to make sure you prioritize. I do give you an estimated time for every one of your assignments so that, excuse me, so that you guys can plan accordingly. And you want to make sure that whether it takes 2 hours or whatever, you have life, you have kids, you have jobs, everything that's going on that's crazy. Make sure that you make school a very important part of your daily routine. Planned events like weddings or vacations do come up. If you will not have the opportunity to do your homework during these events, please tell us. We will open up those assignments early for you. It's better to be early on those assignments rather than late and get points deducted. We do understand some technical issues may happen with FSO or anything like that. So whatever the technical issue is, make sure that you tell us what's going on so that we don't deduct points if it's not your fault. And you want to make sure you always contact FSO support. We'll talk about that in a second. You also need prior approval for turning things in late. You do not require a response from us because we get a lot of students that turn them in late. Just say, hey, I'm going to turn this in late, and then turn it in late. Don't wait for us to tell you it's okay. Just get it in as soon as possible. And that gives us the opportunity to grade them after we grade all the on-time assignments. We will be deducting professionalism grade when you do turn in assignments in late rather than the assignment itself. I think it's valuable for you to know exactly the quality of work that you're turning in, and then understandably, your professionalism, not turning things in late, is what will be deducted from that assignment. And the subs for turning in late assignments will be at the bottom of every assignment, and we'll be going over that shortly as well. I mentioned FSO support. Make sure that you contact them, and they can actually contact me as well. So if you are having difficulties uploading or embedding and they tell me and you have a ticket number, that's easy enough to make sure that, hey, it wasn't your fault. You did do what you needed to do, and I won't deduct any points for that. So there's multiple ways at which you can contact them: phone, Twitter, or by email. I always just call them. When you guys are communicating with your instructors, you definitely need to be as specific and professional as you possibly can. The big thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that you tell us what your name is. You want to tell us what section number you are, and I'll go over that and show you where that is. I have about 200 plus students this month. And with VEM on campus and online, if you give me just your name and not the section number, I'm going to be searching for you throughout 200 students. And that takes a good amount of time in order to do so. So rather than starting by answering your question and getting your instructor frustrated, you want to make sure you give us whatever you need, very specific. We can find you, answer you, and you get it as soon as possible, that feedback back. So their section number, as well as what assignment you have issues with, and then what is your actual problem. Don't just send me an email saying, help, help, I don't understand. There's no way that I know where to start by helping you. The only thing I can say is watch the go-tos, because like I say, I'm going to be going over everything very thoroughly. If you give me something as general as that, I'm going to give you something general. If you give me something specific, I can come back at you with a very specific answer that you know exactly what you need to do rather than playing email tag. So again, be very, very specific and be very, very professional. If it doesn't make sense to you, that email is not going to make sense to me because I don't even know what you're thinking. Make sure you punctuate. Make sure you have sentences, and even if you are dictating any kind of communication through your phone or whatever, you say period and things like that. Because if you send me a giant block of text that is 50 words and it's just no grammar, I'm not going to be able to understand any of that. So just make sure that you make sure you're as professional as you possibly can when you guys are communicating. I can't stress that enough. And again, there'll be multiple points of contact. I am your course director, Jamie Myers, whether you have me as a picture or not. We also have lab specialists for each one of the sections that assist with grading. I could not grade 200 students. I have amazing people that help grade. I will be the one that will be teaching you. And if you guys have any issues, I'll be helping you out as well. We also have mentors who are current students that have previously taken this course that are there for you to help you succeed, help you if you have issues with questions about researching, questions about networking, if you just want to throw an idea their way and see what they think, you can definitely do that. And that email is vem.mentor@gmail.com. Those are our VEM mentors. Again, they're students, not instructors. They cannot help you with grades. They cannot do the assignment for you. However, they are there definitely to help you guide you in the right direction if you get stuck. I'm going to go ahead and ask any questions about what I just went over. I'm going to go ahead and dive into FSO and go over that now. But does anybody have any questions over what I covered? I did have one about go-to sessions on Friday. Go-to sessions on Fridays are open sessions. They're not like this. They're not structured. They are just open sessions at which if you have any questions right before the end of the weekend or the beginning of the weekend, end of the week, beginning of the weekend, then you can ask those questions. So it is not a recorded session. It's just open if you have any last minute questions before the weekend begins. Because we do try to have some form of life. Doesn't usually work, but we try. So when you go ahead and take a look at the platform here, we have multiple different modules. I have this getting started and extra credit at the very top. Weeks 1 starts with 1. So what can I identify? Who do I admire? Are going to be this week. Next week, you will start the What Do They Do assignment as well as the research project assignment. At the beginning of week 3, you will start with Who Do They Work For? You'll also be continuing your research project assignment. And in week 4, you guys, at the end of week 3, week 4, you guys will start What's My Vision? And again, continuing the visual research project assignment. So you will be working on 2 assignments at least every day or every week. Okay? Did have a question. Can we ever come into campus? If can I use? I used to be on campus and had to switch for scheduling. If you need to meet your instructor to help go through things, we can make that happen. So just make sure that you email me, and then we can make that happen for you guys if you live nearby. If you have any issues. So the first module here is getting started. So we have multiple different things. I'm just going to glide through them really quickly. So the first is welcome to VEM. Make sure you read the nice letter that I've written you guys. I have a video here, as well as extending some of the things I just went over, procedures. There's a little bit more. When you guys, I mentioned communication, your name, your section number, and explain your specific question. So a couple places where you have your section number. So this number here, VEM, this is going to be the course. Underneath that is going to be the term and the section number. 1905, this is going to be the May of 2019. That's what that means. And right after that is going to be your section number. So there's sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 00. 00 is going to be my on-campus section. So like I said, I have 7 sections for you guys. So it's easier to tell me exactly where you are so I can find you and answer you as best as possible. We do also have a list of your lab specialists or other course directors that will be grading. So if you guys are section 1, Mr. Will Couch, they have assistance with Mike Cosio. Section 2 is going to be primarily Mike Cosio. Section 3 is going to be Kim Carlisle. Section 4 is Sharon Reed. Section 5, Steve Estachio, and Will Couch will also be doing section 6. So everybody has somebody else besides just me to contact. If you go ahead and see my letter up here, there's a quick key for my email. There's also a quick keys for your, or quick links for your section instructors, and then I mentioned the VEM mentor. One more last email here, which is the webmaster. This is for my bonus assignments, and I'll show you that at the very end, but you can also contact that individual if you have any issues. When you're done, hit mark as completed and move on to the next one, which is due dates and late policy, which is so very important. So again, it is your responsibility to turn in each task on time. I've given you a JPEG as well as a PDF to download, a nice little visual of what you have to look forward to throughout the entire month. What can I identify is due on Thursday? Who do I admire is due on Sunday? What do they do in week 2 on Thursday? Task 1 for visual research project on Sunday. And you can continually see that we might have a couple of assignments here. These are more written assignments. And the last 2 days, these are also written assignments. These are, this is a super easy visual picture assignment, mood board assignment, and this is a written assignment. So most of these back here in weeks 3 and 4 are written assignments as well. So that should help you guys plan a little bit. So moving back to due dates, the late policy is listed here. I've mentioned before, we will be deducting points from your professionalism grade and not necessarily your assignment because I want you to know exactly the quality of your assignment. And then once you're done, you're going to go ahead and copy this nice blurb, fill in the blank with your name, understand that you understand the due dates and late policy. When you're done, hit save, which is turning in your assignment. Next assignment's professionalism. You're going to go ahead and read that as well. When you're done, you're going to do the same thing, copy, and then go ahead and place your name there and paste and hit save as well. Last couple ones, the monthly announcements. There's a couple really good ones in here. FSO image. Make sure you have a beautiful picture of yourself when you guys are turning in assignments. There's a writing center that is available for you guys. We also are just launching, I think this month, tutors, more expanded parts of the tutorial program at Full Sail. So if you have any issues, they'll definitely be able to have people that can help you out. Rewording research is so important. If you copy and paste something, especially from Wikipedia, which is not a good cited source, or Google, not a cited source, please don't cite those, we can easily figure that out. And if you plagiarize anything based copy and paste, you guys will get zeros on your assignments. If you do it on 2 assignments, you will be reported for plagiarism. So reword research, so very important. I don't want to know you know how to copy. I want to know that you understand what that content states. So if you read it, you understand it, then you go ahead and tell me exactly what it means in your own words, then I know that you understand it. Okay? Brian did ask about the up here. These last 2 numbers are your section numbers. So that's all I need. I don't need the term. Okay? Usually, if you give me both, that's perfectly fine because I'm also closing out last month and unfortunately starting to work on next month. So more information is better. Just make sure the O1 is the most important part of that information. You will be embedding photos. There's instructions right here. However, the first week for both of those assignments, you'll also be embedding photos. I've added that information, instructions on those assignments as well. Copy and paste does not work. You may see the copy and pasted image, but I, as an instructor, can't see that image. So you want to make sure you follow directions appropriately. That way I can go ahead and grade you appropriately as well. All right, and just continue reading it. Last thing I want to hit real quick is go ahead and take a look at this video if you haven't. Stephanie Mata is our amazing librarian. She has put together a really great GoToTraining video here that will help you to research in this course as well as your future courses. She shows you how to use Google to search and the library databases. And the end of this one, she specifically talks about our course. So if you have any issues, this is a great one. I will be posting this several times. So please take at least one opportunity throughout the month to take a look at it. That way you know exactly what to do in the future besides just in my class. When you're done, hit mark as completed. Then you see your virtual classes. So thank you guys for attending. What I'm going to be doing is posting under virtual class postings. I'm going to go ahead and post weeks 1, 2, and 3, so you have the opportunity to watch it later. So this is exactly where you guys sign up, and this is where you watch the archived version. Everything will be located within this one assignment. There's also some great guest speakers from creative writing as well as film and media communications. So throughout the month, please take the opportunity to watch these. Maybe you get a little bit extra out of it. Going back to the opening of the FSO, we went over everything getting started. Next thing we're going to do is go over the 2 assignments which are graded. Both of these are worth 10 points. So when you open these up, the first thing that you see is something called an ICE chest. An ICE chest is going to be, ICE stands for Integrative Classroom Experience. And this is where you have all of your assets, all of the videos, any kind of reading material that is connected to this assignment. So this is the assignment itself, and this is what you need to know in order to do the assignment properly. So always make sure you complete the ICE test before you complete the assignment. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. That is, what can I identify? So this is the ICE test for what can I identify. Most assignments are laid out very similarly. The first thing is the competency, which gives you an idea of what you have to look forward to for this assignment and the approximate time at which that task or this assignment will take place, or how long it will take. I do have some lectures throughout these assignments, these ICE tests, at which I'm lecturing you guys in a keynote, and I also provide you a PDF version of that keynote as well as a download, so you can take a look at that. Besides just me having me that you're having to listen to, I've also provided some other subject matter experts that has to, they're experts that knows about the subject matter and can also tell you a little bit from their experience, some industry professionals. So you definitely want to hear from them besides just me. So the first one is about promotional imagery. It's about 14 minutes. We talk about different kind of covers of video games as well as graphic novels. And then we also talk about movie posters. So those are the promotional images and the different genres and the different ways at which each genre has their own kind of look. So you can figure out exactly what that project is about. The next one has to do with writing, so that's another 8 minutes. You have the opportunity to learn a little bit about writing. It's very overview, it's very easy. We talk about the plot diagram, different kind of characteristics, different kind of easy things because you will be writing for this assignment. The next one, we talk about different kinds of theme. We have a subject matter expert for Darius, a really funny video from Glove and Boots. Here are the downloads of my lectures. I've also provided additional resources at the end of every ICE test that gives you the opportunity to learn a little bit more about whatever topic you're not required, but it gives you the opportunity to learn a little bit more. When you're done, hit mark as completed. Moving on to the assignment itself. So that ICE test takes about 30 minutes. The assignment itself is an hour and a half. So you have about 2 hours worth of work that is due by Thursday. Okay, so not too much at all. All right, for this one, you're going to follow from the top and you're going to work your way from the bottom. Download the following file, or you can access the same images from the Google Drive link. So there's the file, Google Drive link. Understand that these movie posters are fake. They've been created specifically for this class. You are not researching, you're coming up with your own ideas for this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose one of the promotional images within the folder in which you were interested in, and you're going to break it down. In weeks 3, you guys will be creating your own promotional image for a project at which you guys are going to be pitching in week 2. So before you know how to create, you know how to break down. So that's what this assignment does. It helps you kind of break down one of those previously promotional images and understands what it takes to create one of those. So the first thing is the title of the project or campaign advertised. Once you take a look at that image, you can easily tell what it is, and you're going to go ahead and tell me what you think it is. This is a right and wrong answer. Some of these are, and some of these are subjective. Are there any cast or crew listed, or what product is being promoted, right or wrong? What genre? Now you're going to have to get the information that you've learned in the ICE test about the different genres and kind of figure out what you think that genre is based on the knowledge that you've gained. So that one is a subjective question. Who are the characters are in the image? That's easy. Who do you see? What do you think the conflict is of the story? Again, that one is subjective. What is the tagline? You'll see the tagline. Who is the production company or client that created the project? And how will you take part of this project? If it's a video game, what console is it on? If it's a series or motion picture, when does the project premiere? Graphic novel, where do you buy it? Or product advertisement is how can you be involved with that product? Once you are done breaking that down, you're going to use your amazing storytelling skills and take a look at that image and figure out what kind of story that is from the image itself. So, what do you think that story of the campaign or project is about? It is an original story. Again, this is not research, this is time to be creative. In 100 to 250 words, you're going to give me a beginning, middle, and an end. If it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end, it's not a story. You can't give me a concept. I want this happens at the beginning, this happens at the middle, and this is how it ends. Okay, always make sure that you have an ending. When you guys are doing this, if it comes over 250 words to 300, 350, that's fine. Just don't give me so much to read. We have about 25 of these to read in order to give you guys grades. I have that many students, so make sure that don't give me a dissertation, just give me a nice little blurb of what it is, and make sure you give me that beginning, middle, and end. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take a look at the images. So these are the ones that which you have to choose from. Let me go ahead and put them back in number order, starting with 1. This first one is going to be a graphic novel. Then we have a movie, a video game, a product, graphic novel, television show, video game. We have a television show, a product that we're selling. We have a movie, television show, advertisement, movie, and we have a television show. Okay, so those are the ones you have to choose from, and it's going to be your job to choose one that is interesting to you, and then break it down, and then tell me what you think the story is. If it's an advertisement, what do you think the campaign is about? What do you think the story is about? In order to help you understand, you are not creating this. This is just helping to show you an example. Here's an example of what did the fox see from Canon. Again, this is fake. This is not a real one. You're going to go ahead and break it down like you see in this picture. All right, and here's a download for that image. Because you're going to be choosing 1 out of 16 pictures, I need to know which picture you guys chose. So you are required to embed that photo in your answer for this assignment. So here again is the instructions for embedding a photo. Again, you cannot drag and drop. As far as just pasting it there, you need to make sure that you do this correctly. A deliverable. When you see this banner, this is telling you how I want that assignment turned in. You're going to answer the questions in the completion section of this assignment to receive credit. The first thing I want is the image and the image embedded. There's the instructions for that. So I know which image you're talking about. And then you're going to go ahead and answer questions 1 through 9. Break it down with the questions, give me the answers, and then give me your summary. The rubric is listed here. The 10% for the image, just making sure that you embed it. A little bit over a third is the synopsis. Each of those questions are going to be about 5 points apiece. And professionalism following directions. I've told you that we've put the steps for turning in late on the very bottom. Hopefully nobody needs this sucker. This is due on Thursday, and it is 10% of your assignment. Now, does anybody have any questions regarding this assignment? All right, I got a few ones coming in. So when I download the picture in the assignment and after I complete the written assignment, can I submit the assignment as a PDF file? No. What we've asked for is the deliverable. Answer the questions in the completion section. I do not want to download anything. We've had issues with downloading things that students have uploaded, and in cases like that, we have had viruses in our computer. We're not going to take that chance anymore. All I want is content, and I just want content pasted in the completion section. For this entire month, you're not uploading anything, you're just pasting things in the completion section or embedding those images. Okay? If you want to know where the image embedded is right here, this little landscape sucker. You're going to click on that, and then you can drag and drop into the box that will pop open, and that way it is embedded, and I can see that image. Okay? You can go ahead and resubmit. If you've already resubmitted it, you should be able to edit it. If not, place that in the feedback section. Say, hey, I know I did this incorrectly. Please accept this embedded photo as my first submission, and we'll take that, okay? Chandra asked if we need to label the beginning, middle, and end. Not necessarily. try to have at least 3 paragraphs. If you give me the beginning in one, the middle in another, and the end in one, it can easily be visible that they're beginning, middle, end without specifically saying beginning, middle, and the end. Okay? You don't necessarily have to write the questions. You can go ahead and write one and then the answers. The questions 1 through 8 there's no word count for those, but there is a word count for question 9. All right, that's going to be up to you. It's easy just to copy this, paste it, and then continue as well. All right, do we need to cite the image we choose? No, because I'm providing those images to you. So this is the only assignment at which you're pretty much not citing anything. No problem. Is there any other questions that I missed? Go ahead and type those suckers in again if I missed it. I think I got them all. Okay. Again, if you download those images from the zip file or access them from the Google Drive, you can just go ahead and here hit this download button and download that image. Fairly easy. Okay. All right. Moving on from what can I identify to the ICE test for who do I admire? So for this one takes a little bit longer. Again, this one is not due until Sunday, about 50 minutes. So we're going to be talking about all different kinds of disciplines at which the visual arts does offer for you guys. We talk about different creative writing disciplines, filmmaking disciplines, as well as media communication disciplines. So I go over all those in about 10 minutes. So make sure that you watch those. And again, it gives you the opportunity to understand what the assignment that is attached to, as well as the future assignments when we talk about discipline, what that understands and what that encompasses. Instructor specialties, we have creative writing. These are interviews with instructors on campus that have been in the industry. That gives you a little bit more in depth about each of the different disciplines at which they've been focusing on. So different kinds of terms, the people who they work with, what do they actually do? So depending on, well, not depending on what discipline or program you are enrolled in, you do have the opportunity to watch all 3 of them. Please make sure that you do, because you may find out that something else may intrigue you more than what you are already enrolled in. And at this stage and your program, you can't actually change with no problems about retaking any additional classes. Plus, if you watch these, a lot of the answers to your questions that I'm asking you, a lot of those clues are going to be within these videos. So it gives you a good starting point for your research. So please make sure you watch those. Here are the PDFs for my lecture, as well as this is a research assignment, so you can go ahead and utilize those links there. That'll help you research. And again, I posted that one. When you're done, mark as completed. Moving on to the assignment itself, it takes about an hour and a half for this assignment. So if we go back, we have about 2 hours of assignments due on Thursday and about 2.5 hours worth of assignments due by Sunday. So keep that in mind. I do have it limited to between 4 and 6 hours of homework a week. So that's not too much for 7 days worth of a week. So let's go ahead and start from the top. So the first thing you're going to do is tell me which discipline you have chosen to research throughout the month. This is not a discipline at which you have to, have this for your entire program, what you want to do when you grow up. It is just something at which you are interested in learning about this month and want to learn more. Okay, so these are the disciplines at which I have covered in the ICE test. So if you don't understand what specific one of these are, it's because you haven't watched the ICE test yet. Once you watch that, you'll know exactly what each one of these are. So once you said, hey, I want to choose, let's say, directing and writing. We have put directing in the writing category. These 4 here are writer categories, because a director needs to understand story and characters more than they really understand technical difficulties or technical technical things as far as the cameras and the lighting and the camera angles. They need to understand and talk to their talent. Over here, we have producing as well. We understand producing may be in the filmmaking category, but a lot of producing has to do with the paperwork side of it, the communication side of it. So we place that in media communications. So 3 different questions for this assignment. And continuing these assignments for these month, you'll have probably about 3 for each one of these assignments. The first one is top 5 visual arts industry professionals. So I chose writing and directing. So I have to choose my top 5 visual arts industry professionals with a job within your above chosen discipline. So I have to find my top 5 writer directors that I like. You can choose professionals with any job that's within that discipline, and Full Sail alumni is always a good idea. Again, you're researching specific people and not companies. So what we're asking for question 2, in 150 words total, you are going to write about the 5 visual industry professionals, of who they are and why you appreciate their work. Nice and easy. So it should go, I admire blank, 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 and blank. I admire blank because of blank. I admire blank because of blank. Super easy, 150 words. That shouldn't be very difficult at all. Again, 150 words total, not for each individual. Moving on to collaboration. You're going to choose one of those top 5 people that you've just discussed, and you're going to find out and research 3 people at which they collaborate with frequently. One of the things you'll learn here is that the same people work with the same people, and then you're going to figure out kind of why do they work with the same people over and over again. It's the way the industry works. It has to do with trust and understanding and communication. So what you're going to do for this one is explain who that person is and who each of the 3 visual arts collaborators mention their job positions and with specific projects. And you're going to do that in a paragraph with at least 100 words. So I have chosen blank as my industry professional. They work with blank, blank, and blank. They work on blank, doing blank. Easy, easy, easy. Blank does a lot of things, I got to tell you. Then, because we're visual, I want you to embed an image of that person within that so I can see who you're talking about. Again, instructions on how to embed an image. And the last question here has to do with branding. You're going to choose one of those top 5. It does not have to be the same person you chose for question 3. It could be a different person. And research their brand. So what do they stand for? What genres do they focus on? What are they known for? What makes them unique? And you're going to explain that in 100 words. And because this is a research assignment, you're going to cite at least 2 research for your content and image sources for at the end of this posting, okay? Because that is required. So super easy, 150 words here, 100 words here, an image, another 100 words there, okay? What you're going to understand is, let's say if I chose writer-directors as Quentin Tarantino, James Cameron, Wes Craven, Wes Anderson, and J.J. Abrams. All directors, once you get to this point, they're totally different brands as well. So you're going to figure out exactly what do they stand for, because you want to be somebody like that. The deliverable, how do I want this turned into me? How do I want that delivered to instructors? In the completion section, you're going to write. Again, do not upload a PDF or anything else. Just give me the discipline at which you chose, 150 words, 100 words, an image, 100 words, and your cited sources, just like that. Your rubric is listed here, 25% for the 100 words, 30% for the 150. The image is important, 5%, 5% for cited sources, and 2% for following directions. Nobody needs steps for turning this in late. It is not due until Sunday, so please make sure that you get that completed on time. I have a lot of questions coming in. It is now time for that, so I'll go ahead and move over to the comment section, and let's take a look. All right, so based on the first and second assignment, I'm embedding images in the completion section. Correct. Images as well as content. So words and images and no uploads. That's exactly what we want. Can I use favorite authors? Now, the understanding is if you want to use a writer-director, they must have written for a visual art, so not a novel. So they have had to have written for a television show. A graphic novel would be fine because that is visual. You could also choose individuals who have written specifically the screenplays. Okay, so you want to make sure that you can do that. All right. It is up to you to research. People are asking about Stephen King or George R.R. Martin. You have to figure out if they have written any part of the screenplay. If it's based on their book, they did not write anything for a visual arts. They wrote the novel. But if they have written the screenplay, then yes, you could use them. That's what you want to make sure that you understand. Okay? All right, so that does take a little bit of research. Just make sure it's from one of the visual arts that we have discussed. All right. Again, citing sources, all you need is a URL at which you found that information. You don't have to use APA formatting for this one as well. If Stephen King has written a screenplay, yes. Again, that is up to you to research and figure out that answer to that. All right, let's see. Did I answer all of the questions? Okay. All right. There you go. Tell me who you admire, who they worked with, and what do they stand for. All right. That's going to be a good starting point at which you guys will be continuing the research based on the discipline at which you are interested in. You're going to continue that next week when you talk about what do they do. Now let's go ahead and go back to the FSO dashboard. We talked about getting started. We went over what can I identify. So you have about 2 hours worth of work due on Thursday and about 2.5 hours work due on Sunday. Keeping in mind, again, Thursday and Sunday is right here. On Monday, we're going to go ahead and go over the what do they do assignment as well as task 1. And we're actually going to be going over task 2 as well because you can start on that nice and early, which is your visual research project. Okay. Last thing here is your extra credit. So I have given you guys opportunities to create extra credit or to turn in extra credit every week, as well as one that covers the entire month. So let's go ahead and go over networking with professionals first. So this is an opportunity for you guys to network with industry professionals. You are going to go ahead and for this assignment is reach out to 3 visual arts industry professionals that can be valuable to your network. They can be visual arts industry professionals you already know, somebody you like to add to your network. This assignment has opened already and is not due until the very end of the month. So your idea is to start communicating with people in the industry. You may even find a mentor. So what I want you to discuss is just 2 easy bullet points. The first one is how did they become successful? What was their career path? And sometimes within that, you can easily find at least 3 tips or lessons. Otherwise, you can ask them about that as a separate question. So for this assignment, you're required to reach out to 3 people. You will not be required to get feedback. I just want you to put yourself out there. There are multiple things at which you guys have to utilize to help you with that. Here's a great video. Here's one about getting email responses. And here's some networking tips that are listed here as well that my mentors have put together for you guys. Be confident. Don't be creepy. Huge thing is don't contact any A-listers like Michael Bay, Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, Steven Seagal. Anybody that has an entourage, it's going to be hard to get through that entourage in order to get to those people. I would highly suggest for you to find people that are on Twitter a lot, on Facebook a lot, people from television more than movies, and research to see if those people are involved with a project right now. Because sometimes if they're involved with a project, they don't have time to do their social media jobs. So make sure that you have that opportunity. And here's some additional tips and some examples of some networking. So that's all you got to do. And in week 4, I'll go ahead and tell you how to turn this in. So the first thing to do is just reach out. Would local news anchors, reporters be considered industry professionals? Most definitely. Most definitely. Anybody that has to do with the visual arts. And news is definitely a section of visual arts that is qualified within that. Good question. Last thing that I'm going to be going over is weeks 1 extra credit. So extra credit for weeks 1 is all of these networking with peers are going to guide you to a website at which you have up to the 200 students to network with. All right. So again, this says about 30 minutes, but it probably will take less than 5 minutes to do this one. Here's a video on networking that my mentors created. They wrote it, directed it, shot it. And all of these have been actually graduated for over a year or two. This person right here just finished working on Marvel, Captain Marvel, and a bunch of the other Marvel movies. So she's awesome. So the first thing you're going to do is navigate to the VEM networking site. So that's going to be popping up. This is a third-party site, not having to do with FSO, so you will need to create a new login for that, and that's going to be up to you. The instructions are listed in that video. You're going to create a post, and you're going to go ahead and call it your name, networking with peers. And from here, you're going to go ahead and tell us who you are. So basic information, and you're going to utilize this format to do so. You're going to tell us your name, your nickname, what program you're enrolled, what discipline have you chosen to research, and remember we just talked about the different disciplines and the Who Do I Admire assignment. There's the discipline. And where are you located? Are you an online or on-campus student? Are you able to collaborate with on-campus and online students? You may have the opportunity to do so later. And then 2 little paragraphs talking about yourself. Basic information at which you can start a good conversation. The first one is about any industry experience. This does not say professional industry experience. It could be anything that you've done in your backyard. It could be stuff you did in high school, outside of school, in the womb. It doesn't matter. From birth to now, what have you done? It could be blogs, scripts, video project, fan fiction, anything that you guys have put together. And just something that you've done that has helped you to kind of understand that, yeah, this is what you want to do the rest of your life. The second paragraph has to do a little bit just easy information about yourself, hobbies and interests, just something at which you can connect with others. And if you want to share your contact information, you can. It's not required. So you're going to use this following format, and you're going to go ahead and fill in the blanks. Please make sure you delete the quotation or the parentheses. So I don't know why, but people sometimes leave them in there. Take that away, and you're going to go ahead and let's do that now. Let's copy that sucker. VEM networking. You can see the people at the very top are actually our mentors, as well as this guy right here who has helped some students. He is an alumni who helped some students get some jobs and stuff. He's a really cool guy. Oh, look, we already have a couple people here. This guy looks like he is having fun. So he did a really good job. He filled in the blanks. He gave us a link. He gave us a picture. That's another thing that you want to make sure you do. Give me a picture that kind of says a little bit more about you. This guy loves cameras. He's a photographer. He's professional. And he smiles. So we can see a little bit about that. And if you want to, next week, your Networking with Peers weekly assignment will be the opportunity to start networking with some of those individuals, start replying to them. But for this one, you're just going to put yourself out there. Okay? And that's what you need to do for your assignment. You're going to give me that information. You're going to embed your photo. And in order to get credit, you're just going to give me your username at which you created for that website and then a timestamp of which you did. Networking with peers. Any questions? All right, we have covered everything for this session. Getting started, the 2 graded assignments, and the extra credits. Next week, I will see you guys, and we'll be going over what do they do, as well as task 1 and task 2 for the visual research project assignment. Any last questions regarding anything that I covered? Nope. Again, hopefully within an hour, I will have this posted in the virtual class assignment, and I'll be posting it right underneath that green banner. Good luck with your assignment. Again, if you have any last minute questions before the weekend, please ask. We will have Miss Michelle, who is our associate course director for this course. She has that open session on Friday for last minute questions. If not, good luck, and have a great day.